Welcome in everyone to episode 195 of the HurricaneKaz podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Peng, and contrary to what you all are seeing, this is maybe our fourth time recording. But for you all, it's the first. You know, some technical difficulties, etc., etc.
We won't say who.
But Tristan's not able to join us for some reason. But we do have Kaz and Josh, Steve, all the above today for episode 195. So we'll talk more about all these things. We only got about an hour 20-ish. So we're going to cover as fast as we can. We have a lot of things to cover. I also won a bet this past weekend, you know, but we need to discuss that one too. You're right. Yeah,
he didn't win two.
Sure, I didn't lose one, and I won that one. Yeah, anyway, we'll get to it. Let's start things off with the events for this week. We have Pokemon Fiesta Mumbai, which I briefly talked about one of the times we recorded, and it's a weird name, Pokemon Fiesta Mumbai. Okay, so Fiesta is usually like kind of Spanish / Latin American, right?
It's a Spanish word, yes.
And then they're using it for a Mumbai event?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the...
Do they use... Okay, I'm curious for anyone like in that area, right? Do they use the word fiesta often?
Well, I do think... I mean, the word fiesta has taken on like a bigger life than just being one language, you know? Like,
sure.
I feel like it's sort of a common phrase that people will use. But yeah, the labeling is a little weird too, like on this image that they have for the event, because they have like City Safari Mumbai. They have the dates, and then they have Mumbai Pokemon Fiesta like as a whole different logo on the other side. So I'm like, is it the same event? Like is it the same as City Safari?
So the City Safari is this weekend, and they're having the Pokemon Fiesta thing during the City Safari at the Phoenix Palladium. Is basically the idea. So this is just sort of like an in-person activation thingo. So, you know, there's Pikachu photo ops and photo thingos and some extra bonuses in game. Obviously, you know, most of our audience isn't from India, and so the sort of big takeaway for most people is just they're going to be that Pikachu with a Sari and Pikachu with a Kota are going to be in raids. So if you've got any Indian folk on your friends list, maybe keep an eye out for that remote raid possibility to jump on in.
Yeah, or anyone just really visiting the area. But this is on the 29th to the 30th. And yeah, there's Pikachu dance shows, stamp rally, Pikachu meet and greet, mini games, Pokemon Go boost, photo opportunities, all that stuff. So this will be in Mumbai at the Phoenix Palladium, Lower Peril. I might be pronouncing some of that wrong. I mean, these are just like English words too, but I'm just the words I don't say them often.
Palladium is an element on the periodic table.
True.
Oh, see, words that I don't say often because I didn't even know that was the element on the period. What number is it on the periodic table?
I only get so far. As
I don't know. I thought you had like the table pulled up, you know, like a number underneath. Like,
no. I just remember the report I had to do on it in high school. Like it just popped into my brain.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a transition medal. That's about all I can give you.
That's great.
All right, I looked it up. It is number 46, which is not that like far down. Part of me feels like I probably knew that at one point in chemistry class, but it's been a long time since then. Anyway, the raids, 1-star raids, there's Pikachu wearing a Sari and Pikachu wearing a Kurta, and they can be shiny too. So for those that are big collectors, definitely look out for some of those raids. I think this will probably be a little bit easier to get than what was the Paldea Toros, right, in Spain or whatever. That one's probably a little bit harder to get into, but I feel like there's a lot more Indian trainers. So should be hopefully a little bit easier to get to. But time research as well for those at the event, I guess. Incubator, 3 Pikachu wearing Sari, encounters with Pikachu wearing Sari and more. And then there's also 2 buddy catch assist count at chance.
That's kind of a weird bonus.
Yeah, what does that mean? Two buddy?
No, it says 2 times buddy catch assist chance. So it's like,
so your buddy has a better chance of like helping
Popping
you
in
catch
from the
something if you
corner.
don't.
Yeah.
It's a very weird one. I mean,
yeah, is it just like an increased chance for the buddy to?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen this before, and honestly, I'd be okay if we never see it again. But it's not like a bad
hurt.
bonus. It's just like
It's just sort of a nothing
it just
bonus.
saves. Yeah, it just saves you one Pokeball, maybe. Interesting. I think they just want. I don't even know, but it is what it is. Anyway, for those that will be at the events, either you're from the area or you're traveling for it, have fun with it, and let me know in the comments below if people in the area say Fiesta or not. I don't know. Fiesta just sounds so weird. Like, I feel like they don't use the word Fiesta for events, like global events, right? Or somewhere in North America, but they're going to use it.
Maybe they will, though. Like, maybe this is them being like, oh, we're going to have this extra party and we're going to call it this.
What if they just start mixing like cultural like terminologies for like every event?
It's just a grab bag. All about learning.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I was trying to think of another one besides Fiesta, but I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, very specific event, but if you're a collector of shinies, then that is one that you might want to entertain. But this is a global event. Coming up next, we have a Mega Audino Raid Day. This is weird too, because didn't this thing have Moonblast? It's still supposed to learn Moonblast, but it doesn't learn Moonblast in the main series game. I saw this all over X. So
that was like the big controversy when they announced this, is everyone was like, this move should not exist on this Pokemon.
But it's still happening, right? To my knowledge.
It's still happening.
So that's kind of weird.
I think it led some people to start the speculation mill that Audino might be in the new Pokemon game and it might get a new access to Moonblast.
Yeah,
possibly. I mean, yeah,
odds are high that it is in the new one because they're going back to the Mega Evolution gimmick, and they've only got so many Mega Pokemon. Obviously, they'll add more, but I feel like chances are they sort of keep a lot of the ones that already have a Mega Evolution. But this, if that's the logic, it seems odd to me that it would make it sort of new move debut in Pokemon Go. I don't know.
That reminds me of Gimmighoul, though, because they released Gimmighoul into Pokemon Go before any other game. So, in a way, they could be pulling a Gimmighoul. Not nearly as exciting because
like a move availability.
It's possible they just goofed. I don't know. But the thing is, like, Pokemon Go's other... I remember the one other thing I recall that only Pokemon Go has that other games don't have is shiny form, cast form. But not normal, because normal cast form can be shiny in the regular games, but the different variations of cast form can't be. Yeah, to my knowledge. So they could only be shiny in Pokemon Go, like Sunny Cast Form, Rainy Cast Form. What was the other one?
Snowy
Cast Form, right? Yeah. But they can't be shiny in the main series game or any other game, I think. So,
which I'm sure that'll change. Like the next time that Cast Form's around, I assume that they will have shiny sprites in there. But
yeah,
maybe not.
I don't know. That's just the speculation that I saw on. On social media and everything, is that like, well, maybe it will get access to this move. But yeah, as of right now, it looks like it's going to be sort of a feature for Go.
Yeah, these also kind of goof ups. Even if it is a goof up, I could care less. Like, some people are really up in arms about it. I was like, dude, who cares? Like, if they want to give, Charizard Hydro Cannon in Pokemon Go, have at it. Yeah. I'll take the diversity of movesets, even if it's not in the main series game. Maybe some people are just purists, or maybe people just... I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's obviously fine to point out, right? But this is not like, oh, you screwed up so bad, Niantic.
This is not the worst mistake that Niantic has made.
Yeah, no, I could care less, right? Like, it's fine, honestly. But at least that's my opinion. I if I'm mistaken on this and I'm missing something, let me know. But anyway, Mega Audino, this will be happening Saturday, April 5th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. This is a debut. And, of course, you could encounter Shiny Audino as well from the Mega Raids. Just standard Mega Raids, I assume. Remote raid pass limit increased to 20. And from the Friday to Saturday. And you can receive 5 additional raid passes from spinning gyms for a total of 6. And the increased chance of encountering Shiny Audino from Mega Raids. And then, of course, starting with the event and continuing after, they'll be able to learn the Charge Attack Moonblast. Okay, please.
As of right now.
Yeah, don't mess this up again. Don't turn this into a weird Absol thing again. Because this is literally what they said for Absol, right? Like, starting this event and after, you can learn brutal swing, and then they're we'll talk about that more on the T topic, and then they just like flipped it, and I was just like, dude, what? I don't know.
So
if
see,
if they pull this 2 mega events in a row, that would honestly props, because that's like comical actually, right?
Yeah.
Like I would actually just burst out laughing if they actually pulled something off like that. Like I wouldn't even I don't know.
Well, it's like they definitely just copy pasted like, the Absol page and used it for the Audino one and just, updated the graphics and stuff, because anyone would do that because it saves you some time. So like it's possible, but you would also think that when they updated the Absol one, they would also be like, oh, we should also probably look at that Audino one. Hey.
Yeah, I swear if they actually oh man, that would actually be hilarious.
And it's
we'll
like
see.
It's such a frivolous thing, like, because nobody cared about Mega Absol Raid Day, right? Like nobody was really making any plans for that, and then
maybe
why as soon as they like messed up, everyone was like, whoa,
hey, it was a big idea.
And then some people were like
me.
well, we pull out some like Italian accents. I'm confused.
Maybe Josh is onto something. They're like, hey, you know what? Maybe people aren't excited for these raid days, so we gotta stir up some controversy.
Yeah. This next one, we're gonna give it a move that it doesn't even learn in the main series game. Yeah. Next one, they're gonna have I don't know, a Mega Dragonite. Something that really isn't available.
Yeah, they're gonna make an announcement for a Mega Raid Day for a Mega that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'd be playing every minute of that Mega Dragonite, event. So hey, I wouldn't hate that one. But okay, so as of now, you could learn Moonblast before and after event. So don't even worry about like if you maybe have 100% or something, you could just TM it. You don't have to like try to find like your own 100% doing it. I know that Mega Audino is pretty disgusting, I think, for Ultra League if it's ever allowed. Maybe in like Battle Frontier or something, but it's like very, very bulky. Let me see if I can sim it real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I know that in Battle Frontier they have like played with the idea of allowing megas. They did for a short time. I think during the Battle Tower, like the in-between season thing.
Yeah, it was pretty useless, at least for Ultra League too, to my knowledge. But
yeah, I tried it in Great League, and I was underwhelmed.
Yeah, we don't have stats on Mega Audino on PvP Poké at least, but I remember like hearing about it a few years ago, and they're like, yeah, this thing would be busted if in Ultra League if you were able to Mega Evolve it, because it would definitely hit under 2,500, but like close to it. Because current Audino doesn't, and then I don't know. It's just the stat product is kind of insane. It's what Wigglytuff typing, right? Fairy normal.
I think so.
Which is pretty nasty in a Giratina meta, but
true
because it's pure normal as just Audino, right?
Yeah.
But it turns into like the normal fairy for Mega Evolution. Yeah. Right.
I mean, either way, this is a pretty good event just for dust purposes, because you get a lot of dust for every Audino, right? So, I mean, nothing crazy because you have to do the whole raid, so it's not like you're catching one every second, but decent amount, I guess, compared to usual. There's event tickets. You could look into that yourselves, but you get 2 times starters from raid battles, which is kind of weird. Raid battles specifically? Like, why not just... I don't know. I guess that's fine. But, like, catching the Audinos where you get a lot of the dust, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then obviously if you buy the ticket, the bonus is only in effect during your local time when the thing goes on. It doesn't like start like the moment's global. And then there's time research, all that stuff. You get certain bonuses like 10,000 Stardust, 1 additional Stardust for completing a raid battle for a total of 2,000, 3,000 dust with the event tickets, and more. I don't know. They're really breaking down the math on this for some reason. I'm not sure. I've never seen that before.
They know how much we care about dust.
Yeah, I guess it's like it's 10,000, but you get additional 1,000, also 2,000 if you do this, but 3,000 if you buy the ticket. Like, okay,
since this is the only thing you nerds care about.
Yeah, here's Moonblast too. Might as well throw that on top.
Here it is.
I don't think it'll be like super useful for much, because like I don't know how often we'll even be, or ever in GBL especially, be able to use megas in Ultra League. But I don't know. I like to just have like megas of everything in general.
Yeah.
Just to like
I keep holding out hope. They keep teasing us with the Master League. Mega Edition, but but they never reward me. So.
Yeah.
Nah, man, Mega Ultra League coming next season. You just wait.
Give me an Ultra League specialist meta, then we'll talk.
But that's the Mega Audino one, so be on the lookout for that. Community Day. Sorry, got too excited.
Oh.
They released it, or the Community Day for April, and it's Vanillite, which that part I don't know. I don't really. I'm not too jazzed about that. But it is on the 27th of April from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, and it says Vanillite, the fresh snow Pokemon we featured during April Community Day. The more important factor is we had a bet. And
which you and I both got 1 point for.
Okay, we no one else got points for? Is that correct?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I said Arctibax and you said Pidove. You got the region right, and I got
one of the typings right. But
so for
that is so silly that Caleb was able to guess Arctibax and win. That's not okay. It was such a bad guess, and yet.
Here we are.
And
you poking around, looking on Pokemon's X account for that Oddish did not pay off, Steve. I'm just saying. Did not pay off.
Right. My suspicion of their continued love for Unova did pay off, though.
I will add a point to our all-time bets for myself and Kaz, because we took the win here, and Steve and Tristan have to transfer 75% of their shiny Vanillite.
50 to 70, 50 to 75.
50 is we're not playing it, but I don't know. You busy that weekend?
Might be now.
Plans.
I'll tell you right now. I'm already prepared to guess for May.
Oh, I'm not that far ahead. I'm putting
for May.
Taking care of my wounds.
No, you don't have to. I'm just saying.
I'd look up some stuff. You know, let's not rush that too much. Let's not, just like Frigibax. There's a science behind this that you have to put your thought into.
There is a science behind it, and I think you guys will come to the same conclusion I do.
I don't know about that. Okay, Vanillite. So we get evolved Vanillish, because Vanillite's a 3-stage evolution, which I didn't realize. I think I said it was 2 on like one of the previous broadcasts. When I was quizzing people on like some trivia segment. Yeah, it was embarrassing. But anyway, Vanillite evolves into Vanillish, and if you evolve Vanillish, it learns it's Vanillux, and Vanillux learns to charge attack Avalanche. Which also they completely mess this up. Why they say from the beginning event until May 4th?
Wait, what?
Yeah, look, until it says
May
feature tag. From the beginning event until May 4th of 2025.
Oh, wait, no. It makes sense. It's because they're going to have that week of timed research thingo. That, like, you can keep evolving it to get the move for the whole time that 7-day timed research goes on. You know, that, like, catch one Pokemon a day. And you, like, get a few extra spawns.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of...
So you no longer have to evolve Community Pokemon within a few hours anymore?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me in a sense.
I mean, I'll take it though, because it feels less rushed. But like, and also like for some people that are trying to get 100% or get a better one, you could spend a few days trading with people just like from your storage. I actually think that's a great idea if that's the case. This is the first time I noticed that you have that long to evolve.
Yeah, it's been the case for the last 2 or
since they had that new like version of the ticket or whatever.
Yeah, well, the first one they had that. The first time they did it, I don't think you could, and so then there was outrage of like, why are we catching Pokemon that we can't even evolve? And then the next one, I think they ticked in.
Okay, honestly, like that's like a kind of a subtle change that I feel like they haven't publicized, but I actually like that one a lot. So
that's actually really good, especially if they are going to continue giving us the timed research, that lasts for about a week. Because what is like for Vanillite, it's not going to matter too much, but like for other Pokemon that are more meta relevant, it's like, well, why would I want this research if I can't even get the thing that I need?
Mm-hmm. For real. Okay, well, that's a nice little change. So be on the lookout for that. And if it bugs out for some reason, then hopefully Niantic can reimburse that. I mean, you can always just test out a random Vanillish, right? Just to see. Is this thing meta relevant for anything? No,
Nah.
right?
No. It's not going to be any good.
Fun one. Okay. Well, we'll take a look at the bonuses. So there's obviously the community research tickets and all that stuff. The bonus 3 times XP for catching Pokemon, 2 times candy for catching Pokemon, 2 times, for the candy XLs, all that stuff. So nothing too crazy, but hey, at least I don't have to transfer 75% my shiny, so I guess that's
woo! That's good because I don't have any shiny Vanillite currently. Like even with events that it's been featured in, like I have not been able to get that
when it came out.
That little snow cone. So
I don't remember it coming out either. Yeah. I probably don't have any.
I feel like it's within the last year.
Yeah, it's gotta be pretty recent, right? Otherwise, I don't know. It's a really weird one. Again, when they have these really weird ones, it'd be nice if they have like really good bonuses at least. But these bonuses are not the best. You remember how they used to have like crazy bonuses, where it's like 2 times the chance of getting a Candy XL when you transfer Pokemon? Like they have like these they had these really wild ones for Community Day, and now it's just like XP or Stardust or Hatch, and that's it. Like they've been rotating around these 3. But I remember in the past they had like, you get like extra candy when you transfer stuff or something. And so people were like hoarding all this stuff for like the weirdest events or community days. But it's been a while since we had those.
Yeah, it hasn't paid off in a second.
No. Okay, and then let's talk about. We could probably talk about the April update next week because it's not even going to be April yet. By next week, yeah, but we'll have time. So we'll cover that, but that's going to be the main events we have coming up. Obviously, the Vanillite one. I mean, a lot of the events we talked about are already covering our April one, so we might be good, honestly, on April content in general. Okay, no Kaz's Corner this week because
Tristan vanished.
Yeah, Tristan's not here too. I mean, I'll take it because he is technically in the lead, but we'll be fair this time. We have ourselves Go Battle League, which it is. How's it going? I guess is a better question.
I don't have Elo yet.
It's going okay. Scroll Cup is really like up, down, up, down, up, down, up.
Yeah, it actually wasn't too bad. I thought it was a lot less RPS than I imagined it to be. Obviously, sometimes it will be, but I actually kind of had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Being a new cup, which we haven't had for a while, I thought that I had a lot of fun with the Pokemon that were available. And yeah, I mean, there were a lot of complaints about it being RPS, but I didn't really feel that way. Like a lot of Pokemon had play. The amount of times that I landed Seed Bomb from Morpeko onto unsuspecting Mudboys was just pure genius, pure fun. So, opportunities like that, I think made it a lot less painful than some people thought. But we have all 3 leagues back now, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that'll be happening
soon.
Yeah, in about 56 minutes. So it'll be that. I was playing a little bit of Master League as well too. Dude, Hoopa Unbound just hot garbage. It was so hard to use. I tried using it for a YouTube video and I got 1 win out of 5. But
got cooked.
I got cooked. I got cooked real hard. I couldn't farm down anything with the freaking Astonish. I think the one game I won, I even goofed a little bit because I came into a Annihilate safe swap, which you rarely see in Master League in general, but had a Annihilate safe swap, and I came into it with my Palkia, I think. Even though I was like, wait, hold on. This Hoopa is only taking neutral from the counter damage. I should have came in with the Hoopa because I have the Astonish, right? It's like the one chance I should have done it. But I didn't. But I still won that one. That was the one I won. Everything else was just brutal. It was so slow. The moves suck on it too. You got Astonish, Dark Pulse, and Shadow Ball. And I was just saying this, you can't buff any of those for Hoopa because they cover too many other things. You need to give Hoopa like its exclusive move, or I don't know, give it like all the other busted moves that like it could learn but doesn't, right? Like I don't know if it learns Sidewave or not, but give it Sidewave, give it Side Shock maybe, give it something else. But the current move set, like, it's just really bad. It's a glassy Pokemon that can't spam its moves very quickly. Like, what's the point of that? Like, that's the crazy part, right? Like, usually if you're glassier, you could like throw moves very quickly. We can't even do that. But
yeah, well, maybe your wishes can get answered in the next move update. Clearly, Master League isn't their favorite guy to mess around with, I guess, when it comes to move updates. But
I guess not, but they've been introducing a lot of new Pokemon in Master League that like has made things quite interesting. I actually like the meta a lot right now. It's a lot of Kyurem, white and black, and the Rhyperior is kind of annoying, but it is part of it. It's not too bad though. I kind of enjoy it. It doesn't feel nearly as RPS, but maybe that's just me. Anyway, I'm looking forward to some regular non-Master League stuff, some Open Great League. I'm going to try myself some Swalot because we saw some Swalot in the championship
Apparently,
series.
it is the new sauce.
It is. Yeah. And you know what's not the new sauce? Azumarill. But it came in. All right. So we talked about this maybe a week or so ago. I don't remember. But Arceus Aurelius, Marcus Aurelius, as I like to call him, he boldly claimed, oh my gosh, this was so bold. It was crazy.
So bold.
Yeah, he said that. What did he say specifically? He said, man, I've been searching up his X account like every day.
You should just scroll up in our chat because Tristan, I think, shared a screenshot.
Yeah. He said, bookmark this tweet as it may come back to bite me. Azumarill will not win a major event in Might and Mastery.
Yeah. And I bookmarked it. And I replied too. I was like, I talked about this last time, but transfer your main talent flame if you're wrong. I'll let you let me specify, right? In quotes, I will let you pour a gallon of water over me on the broadcast if I'm wrong. And then, of course, I was like, deal, I'll let the next two tournaments slide because they were like the Broly tournaments, right? So obviously no one won any right when the meta shifted because that meta was like very weird and different. But so I wasn't even going to count against him if that actually happened. But the very first tournament that like it's the full Might and Mastery tournament outside the India qualifiers, right? Because that hasn't concluded yet with the finals. Mm-hmm. Two Azumarill in the top two, the grand finals. I think it was number one usage on day number 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, 58.3% usage on day 2.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not a color commentator for no reason. Okay, the thing Azumarill is just busted, right? Azumarill is still just way too strong, way too safe. Like its best counters are grass types that sometimes still have to shield, and it's not like Credilli's buff changed that by much. Like I mean that's just like about the same as a Superior, but worse, I guess, into Azumarill, and then obviously Jump Bluff was already going to struggle, but. I think Azumarill is fine in a Superior meta. It's going to be fine in Credilli meta. And of course, like Swalot. I mean, even Swalot bumped up, right? We had a really strong poison that bump up in usage that wasn't there before. It's still good. Don't tell me, because Lapras is around, it's going to be like irrelevant. Dude, Lapras like barely beats it. Like yeah, you could sim it out, but like it's still not the easiest matchup without Skull Bash, right? Like Azumarill has a ton of play, which is the whole point, right? That's why it's so good. But what it was? I'm looking at the top 8. 6 out of the 8 had Azumarill. I knew my odds were pretty good, also, right, going into it. But I just had put nothing on the lines. It's not like I had to do anything if this didn't happen. But the very first tournament, man, who knows? Atlanta might be Azumarill takes all too. I actually don't think Azumarill will win the India finals, the qualifier finals, but I'm not. I think they actually did have quite low Azumarill usage compared to other tournaments. But Stockholm came in clutch. Was this Marcus's first tournament he commentated?
No. He casted one in January. December?
Okay.
January?
Okay.
It's second, I think.
Gotcha. So he did lose our bets, our wager, our challenge, whatever you want to call it. And he got waterboard on him during the broadcast.
Yeah.
But it wasn't by me. Which is very it was very unsatisfying because I was like, I thought I was gonna pour water. I like who knows where, who knows when. But I figured he was probably gonna go to Anaheim for Worlds, right? Imagine getting a whole bucket tossed on you during a World segment. Fantastic, right? Like the video cut off a little bit in Stockholm, but I get it. It was like a last minute makeshift kind of setup, so it is what it is. But we could dunk the whole bucket over him, a giant like hot tub even.
Have you talked to him since? Because I mean, the wording was specific that he said you.
Yes. I mentioned it right somewhere. Let me see what his replies are because I know he is out there, right? What did he say? Oh, I feel like he's writing a bunch of other stuff in his replies so that he drowns it out a bit.
I think that's a little self-centered to think that he's just replying to a lot of tweets
to
hide it from you.
No, not to hide from me, to hide from the public, because it's not just me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, I respond to that same one because someone was asked under his old tweet. They said, "When will this be? I want to see it on live stream." He said, "Watch back Stockholm," and then I said, "Does it count if I didn't import it?" And Nickname, who won the whole tournament, by the way, said it doesn't. And I said, "Hey, the champ has spoken." And then he said, "I'm sorry, but this is what you get. This is what I get. What about everyone else? How Marcus? How can you be like, I'm sorry, this is what you get? By the way, I'm not going to follow through on what I exactly said." But then also he'd be tweeting out, "I'm a man of my word." Like, what? You're a man of what? Look, English is my second language, but even I understand what you means when they say, "I'll let you pour over me." Anyways, Marcus, you do you. If that's how it's going to be, I can't force a bucket of water over you. But when I say I'm a man of my word, I bleached my hair. I didn't tone it out or anything when they offered to make it light brown. Anyway, but either way, he did get the water poured over him, and let's talk about the actual tournament too, because we're going a little too much on this part.
Well, it's funny though. It wasn't
the fun part. The funnest
rule number one, right? If you're going to make a bet or wager with me, make sure that you at least think the wager is even, right? Because I didn't have to do anything if I lost this bet, right? That's mistake number one. Mistake number two is make sure you word it properly too on what you're willing to do, because I'm going to come after you if you're not following through on the stipulations, right? And we see and of course every cast for like 5 weeks on this podcast.
Every cast, like every time you cast from now on, you got to bring it up somehow. Like, I can't wait for the day when I get to pour water.
Do you all remember when Speedy had to shave his beard and everyone's just hounding him down for that, right? Because he didn't follow through on it. Yeah, Marcus at least he still got the water poured over
right
him.
Away.
This is like if Speedy like shaved his mustache or left everything else. That's probably the analogy I got for you. Anyway, Stockholm Regional, Nickname wins another regional. The first one he won was actually back in 2022. So it's been it's a repeat champion, but not. It's been a while. Was it also Stockholm that he won? No way.
No,
right?
it was
it's Bohm.
Oh, it was Bohm. Okay.
Oh. I thought.
Well, I can look it up, but it's been.
You
said that really confidently, so I was just like, "Oh." I
thought.
Yeah, well, luckily we got Jacobs. I don't think we even see his name, the team he ran back then.
Bremen.
Yeah.
Dang.
Bremen. So May of 2022, and almost 3 years later. But definitely has always been a really strong player. I say too, right? Got third in Dortmund this year, actually. That was actually pretty recent too. Got seventh in Gdańsk, stuff like that. So has always been a strong player. Also attended Worlds for what? All 3 years? Maybe not the second. Maybe not the Yokohama year, because that was a really hard one. But I don't think has it even gone to Worlds since London. Could be like a travel thing, because it is, London is much closer than for him than everywhere else. But anyway, hopefully we'll see him at Anaheim. Does have that auto qualification now for it, and was running the double water team of Lapras, Azumarill, and they had Guzzlord, Swalot, Shadow Nightlip, and Talonflame. That's a really interesting looking team, honestly. I don't like. I'm like trying to think about like what to core break it, but like there's just like so many different combinations of lines he could run with it that I don't usually see. I don't even know like what's the standard core breaker here, but I think Guzzlord is a really strong pick too in this current meta.
Yeah,
but I didn't realize he ran Guzzlord and Annihilate.
Yeah, Annihilate was kind of weird. Like I I don't think anyone was expecting it to be massive going into Stockholm, because obviously there's been a big uptick in things that counter it, but it kind of worked for him. I don't think I think he left it on the bench more battles than not, but
yeah,
when he used it, it kind of worked out.
Yeah, because it kind of needs something for steel types, so I get it, and you can't like always reliably bring Talonflame. I guess it's Lapras not terrible into steel types, but if you do run if you run into a Registeel outside of Talonflame, you're just kind of cooked, right? So you kind of need something for that besides it. But I think I like how it looks, and then PP David, who has also been playing really well. I mean, he has been for at least like over a year now, maybe 2 years, but got second place. Which is really strong stuff. And then Danny WWW got third, which was the one of two non-Azumarill users in the top 8.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the usual top players making it pretty far. What is with RD9?
Withered.
Oh, Withered. Yeah, Withered without the vowels in that. Withered 9. Is this their highest placement? I don't think I've seen this name much.
Yeah, so they're a 14-year-old kid, which
he's very.
Is this the person that Tea and Pizza recruited right after?
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, hey, I respect it too, especially young talent like that. Like you gotta, if you don't pick them up, someone else will. So, and they have like 6 different teams, right? Something like that. I think I'm exaggerating a little bit. I think they have 4, but.
I just put up the Dracoviz. They placed 33rd at Birmingham this year for the first time, their first tournament. Yep, Withered. And then 97th at EUIC, which like when I read 97th, it doesn't sound great, but it's like it's going 4-2. Like there's it was a massive tournament.
Yeah. I was going to say EUIC is like our largest tournament still today. So.
Literally the top 25%. But then this is tournament 3, and he's managed to come top 6. The thing that I was most
UK too, so kind of fits Tea and Pizza.
Yeah, I was really impressed by his battle against Pataman. I think it was his last win. But in that, Pataman just coming off of winning EUIC, his top of his game. And I felt like Withered just absolutely rolled him. Like it was like the easiest thing in the world. He just, did everything correctly and completely dominated. And it was just really cool to watch. It was like, dang. And he made a really high level play. And I know Tomahawk was sort of glazing this on the stream as well for good reason. He did the thing where like, neither of them wanted to KO each other, so they were sitting there, neither of them tapping the screen, and so Withered was sort of watching the switch timer, and then sort of perfectly timed before Pataman could swap out, he threw the charge attack to KO, so that not only would he get the KO and his switch timer would come up to 0, he would then get the 0-turn swap to go into his other Pokemon, so he could get the charge move to KO in the back as well. It was just really, really well played. So it was like, dang. So watch out for Withered in the future. Is the
for real.
Yeah, tuned in this weekend, like every time he was on stream.
Yeah.
He had his team didn't. I mean, it's a lot of these teams actually look pretty different compared to past metas too. So I was gonna say, actually, PP David actually had a fighter too. It was Pangoru, but. So I guess having at least one fighter is not the worst idea, actually.
Well, one of the big reasons you need a fighter is because there's some teams running around like Galaxka Bolton, where you really want some fighting coverage to take it down.
Okay. I didn't watch a lot of this broadcast, but he was going for some timeout strategy, right?
Oh,
yeah. Did it work?
Yeah,
I saw him win.
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was legitimately it is quite possibly my favorite team that I've ever seen run in the championship series.
No.
It was so awesome. It was
the one match I saw him win, he didn't even time out. He just won it, but he had a chance on his team.
Yeah, I think he only had one win on stream, one match win, and one of them he just won straight, and then one he timed out, and then I think he might have timed out in another match as well. But it was pretty sick. It's just so creative to come up with a different win con and go for it.
No, timeout is so painful though.
It is very painful. You know what? I'm bringing a fighter to my next tournament. No matter what. I want no. Relaxable in fans.
Yeah, literally everyone saw that and they were like, yeah, kudos, but also we cannot let this happen.
Yeah,
Luckily,
it
he
seemed
didn't make a
pretty
top 8.
hard.
Otherwise, more people would probably be picking up the strats.
Yeah.
But hey, I
He
respect
got
it. You know, I think.
taken down pretty easily.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah,
it's,
Talonflame's kind of strong into him though. Like he doesn't really have any real Talonflame answers besides Mantine, which I mean, you know, Dugong's not terrible, but and then Udin actually had a Furret, which is probably the highest a Furret's ever performed, right? 4th place.
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you're the stats guy, you know, Steve.
Oh yeah, can confirm.
Also, Skelders too, which only one Skelders in the top 16. I know some people are kind of like talking about Skelders might being good, but I don't know. It's not bad. It has played into a lot of things, but it doesn't like really beat a lot of things very hard straight up either, right?
Yeah, I wasn't impressed by it, to be honest. But it was
Yeah.
Torchsong, Shadow Ball.
Torchsong, sure. Torchsong, Shadow Ball, not Disarming Voice.
Interesting.
I think so. Maybe I could be wrong on that, but I think that was the moveset. Can't check on Dracoviz yet.
Torchsong paces the same as Disarming Voice, right? If I'm remembering that correctly.
I haven't used it yet, so I actually don't know, but that would make sense.
I was looking at Josh.
Well, he didn't say that. He didn't seem to know. But
yeah, I couldn't tell you, man. I haven't used it either.
I'm pretty sure that's what I remember. And so yeah, I mean, I think the idea is, well, if I'm only going to be relying on, you know, Incinerate, right? Because I can't outpace things. Then let me just ramp up that damage.
Yeah,
Kaz is correct. It is the same pacing as Disarming Voice. So
okay. I didn't watch a lot of the battles, but I think was nickname Slappers pretty key into a lot of Swallow matchups, because I assume Lapras should win that pretty convincingly, right?
To be honest with you, from what I remember, because I did watch it all, I think the bulk was really what helped him through. It's just having a lot of bulky options.
Yeah.
Or even like Guzzlord. I don't know if Guzzlord counts as a bulky Pokemon, but it's got resistances that really makes it feel very bulky in a lot of cases. So,
yeah, it's got a lot of HP, but like I don't think it necessarily has like the same high defense, you know. So it's sort of mid in terms of its like, you know, actual bulk. But yeah, the Lapras, the Azumarill, the Swalot are both like they can just sit there forever.
Yeah.
That's for sure. The other highlight from the broadcast, I guess, was PvP David versus his dad.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my god!
Bastion user too. That was pretty dope to see.
Oh my gosh! I was just like, I love this. I also like, I hate that you're playing your dad like this, baiting him into bringing the Bastiodon and then bringing a whole team. It's
Bastiodon. And then rock throwing it.
Oh my
Undercharge rock throw.
Yeah.
So rude. So rude, David.
Pretty awesome. They were clearly having fun with it. It was pretty
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I heard, did he like help his dad build his team too? Like, that's what I heard.
I can only assume.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen his dad before though, but maybe not.
He attends most of the stuff that David does, obviously. But he got to, like, his dad got to the group, they faced in the group winners semis. So it's not like he was a walkover either. Like, he was taking people down on the way, which is awesome.
Impressive stuff. But anyway, big congrats to the nickname, and then also PvT David for getting another medal this season. But yeah, new meta, same as Azumarill. You hear that, Marcus Aurelius? Arceus Borger.
Yeah, I like that better.
We have some other events coming up though. Brisbane stream this weekend.
Yeah. So I guess I don't think it was announced the last time we recorded, because we recorded pretty early last week.
Well, break it down for us, Josh.
Yeah, so Brisbane stream happening this weekend. Go is going to be a one-dayer, so it's going to be 1 day stream. So I think it's pretty decent-ish time for the US. Pretty bad time for Europe. So apologies to the Europeans, because it's going to be like that Friday afternoon US time, Friday night, middle of the night for Europe. But should be pretty sick. You know, it's nice that we keep getting the broadcasts going for the Oceanic region, because otherwise it would just be in the same bucket as like the India qualifiers, and people like sort of see the teams on a Dracoviz graphic and then don't think about it again. It sort of doesn't build the storyline as much. So, this will be the grand return of like Valiant Vish to the competitive, his first regional in over a year. So it should be pretty. I think Fishy Legs, similar boat as well, who came second in a Brisbane regional in the
Fishy
past.
Legs hasn't been playing either?
No.
Oh.
So like he played at Worlds and did really well, like top 32, if I recall, with Shadow Gator before it was good. I mean, it did win our IC, so I guess you can't say before it was good, but before it got the big meta change to make it good. But yeah, I don't know, should be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Australia brings and if it's still Credilli.
Yeah, I guess this is going to be the second stab at the Might and Mastery meta, taking Stockholm into account. So I would love to see someone give the Galaxy Bolden team a run. I'd really like to sort of see it get a second stab. But I do think that it's going to be, there might be more ground coverage is my read, I guess, because there is so much Swalot and still Drapion running around. There's some Clod size in the mix as well here in Stockholm. So I'm kind of like, well, maybe ground could have a bit of a comeuppance. Like there were 3 Claydolls in the top 8 of Stockholm. So
yeah, and there were 2 Shadow Kanto Marowaks still as well. So Mudslappers, might be on the rise.
I think it might still be good.
I think so. I thought it was interesting that there was a lot of Claydol usage in Stockholm, but someone was saying that it's better into Lapras and then a little bit better into Azumarill. And as y'all know, Azumarill is still meta, so those could be good reasons.
I mean, Claydol is tankier, like for sort of a ground type Mud Slapper.
You can't really 2-shield Mud Slap down like Shadow Kanto Marowak can, I guess, like for Alligator and stuff. Yeah. But actually, let me see. There wasn't even much for Alligator, right? In the top 16?
Oh no.
I kind of thought there was one, but it looks like there is one.
There was just one. Is what number 16?
Yeah,
the Sudawa.
Le Sudawa.
Yeah, that's we nerf for Alligator without needing to nerf it. That's why I'm really a fan of buffing stuff without nerfing stuff. Like I feel like if you buff things, you make more things have play without like killing the viability of anything else. Like again, like triple nerfing Vigoroth just made no sense to me.
Well, when we got the announcement for the like attack updates this season, I remember saying on this podcast that it was nice that they sort of added more things to the meta instead of just like took things away. You know, like we still had attacks that got nerfed, certainly, but like not in a way that really, took things out. Like we killed Vigoroth,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Galarian Corsola got at the tiniest nerfs, but it's gone. it's completely out of here.
Let me show you what I'm looking at right now, right? Right between my Monders, this is my cat. This is happening right now. I just took a picture. Hold it to the camera for the YouTube version. It's just like keeping below my Monders for whatever reason. And I'm just like, what are you about to do here?
No, Mittens will do that too. Like if I don't have, him on my lap, he'll like start climbing around behind. And sometimes I have like when we've done later podcasts and I have like the ring light set up, he'll just put his face in the middle of the ring light. Like, I know you'll see me right here.
Yeah. Spotlight for me.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. So yeah, looking forward to the Brisbane one. And there's nothing else going on this weekend, right? Or is there like
no? I don't think so.
No,
when's the India qualifier finals going on?
Next weekend, next Sunday, India time. So
is that during Atlanta then?
If Atlanta's next weekend.
Well, no, not well. So wait, hold on. Let me
Atlanta's
see.
the 11th through the 13th.
Oh, okay.
I think that's like still.
Yeah, it's April 6th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we still have good. I have a little more time to do my taxes too.
Yeah, same.
Tax safe for everyone.
But speaking of Atlanta, we do have social events planned that we have a Google form for. So if you are coming to Atlanta and you want to socialize, we have one event for Friday night and one event for Saturday night. And I believe that there's a post from a community leader that Caleb will link in the description
Yes.
That will lead you to those forms. So if you are coming, please fill
Shall.
out so we can give our numbers to the venue.
I shall post it in the description of this episode, and if I haven't, then please remind me, because I forgot in the editing process, but I believe that should be the case.
But we're excited to have everyone, and it should be a really good time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Should be fun. Both the places that I think Lara Croft is one that's organizing it has good dietary options for people that have dietary restrictions. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, they're very tasty.
Yes. All right, let's head over to the tea topic, because no Professor Tristan this week, obviously, and then we'll do our predictions for next community day probably next week or so. We have time, right?
Yeah, we've got time.
I'm just saying, I'm locked in right now.
Kaz gets 1 point and she's locked in. She gets one category right.
Filled with confidence.
She's gonna guess Pit of every week. Eventually, it's gonna come good.
Big smack talker if she was actually in Kaz's corner herself. Okay. Anyway, so for the tea topic for this week, we have a few things. Let's talk about this brutal swing thing for Absol, because this kind of peeved me a bit too. I even posted about it, but anyway, they said, trainers, please note the following changes to Mega Absol Raid Day. After the event, Absol will be able to learn the feature tag Brutal Swing via Elite Charge TM, not regular one. But originally, the messaging was the same as the one we read for the Mega Audino Raid Day, where it's starting from this event and afterward, you can TM it with a regular TM. Sure. And why? Why? It's just, this is I feel like they're just trying to trend on X every week for no reason, you know? It's just what's the point, right? I even tweeted about this. I was like, look, I get it. If mistakes happen, they happen. But some people spent money to buy the ticket under the pretense that they just want Mega Energy and whatever, and they didn't know they had to do all this stuff, you know? It doesn't change the value of the ticket too much, right? But I don't know. It's just I just don't. It's not a great practice in my opinion, you know. Yes, if they messed up, whatever, just let us have it. It's who is telling you no, these have to be exclusive moves afterward, no matter what. I don't know. I could be mistaken if this is a huge cut to the revenue without making an exclusive move, but my guess is probably not. This is also Mega Absol too. It's not going to be relevant in PvP 100%. There's no way. You can't convince me anyway. I can't even imagine a limited meta where it is. But definitely not any of the open metas. Mega Absol also not going to be relevant. We talked about it last week, right? Because it has the same CP as a regular Gyarados. But if you can Mega Gyarados, it has 1,000, 2,000 more CP. It's just why would you Mega this for your Mega Pokemon Master League when you have other options, right? And maybe it's slightly better for raids, but honestly, whatever, just use another dark type. Mega Tyranitar is probably much better still, you know, with Bite and Crunch over Brutal Swing Absol. But
yeah, I think the bigger issue is not this particular change, because Brutal Swing Absol, neither really matters, right? But the bigger issue is just the practice of them going back and be hey, you know that thing, that bonus that we said, well, actually, we're gonna make it worse.
Yeah, honestly, just don't even tweet about it. I feel even if it was a mistake, don't even tweet about it. I don't know, if you want to tweet about it just to be get some compliments, maybe, but I feel it's kind of useless to tweet about if you're not if it's a mistake and you're just you know what, it's a mistake, we're not going to do it, right? If they tweet about oh, it's a mistake, but we're going to still have it as is, I guess that's fine too, but why? You don't even need to tweet about that. But to tweet about it and then revert the changes on top of it, it's a double slap in the face, I feel you know, to be we found it, and then we're actually going to go back and double down on what we were originally going to do, rather than just be hey, well, let it slide, you know? Because, okay, here's the thing I was thinking about too, right? I don't know if you all saw it, but there was a decent lengthy interview that Trainerships did with Michael Soranka, one of the directors at Niantic, which will be Scopely eventually. And, you know, we've mentioned it before. I mean, he's been on this podcast too, if you've been watching this podcast long enough. But they during the interview at some point, Trainerships asking about, you know, revenue and all that stuff, right? Are they doing all these are there going to be a lot of paid events and stuff, or advertising an app, all this stuff once Scopely takes over? And I remember Michael saying specifically, he said, no, our revenue is actually pretty good right now. Like, we're doing great and our company's doing well, like from a monetary perspective. So if that's the case, why do you need some extra elite TM spent on a freaking mega Absol with Brutal Swing? Like, I don't get it. Like, how much revenue can that be? And if not, what's the point? You know, like, I don't get
if
it. Like,
I
it's
had
just,
to speculate, I
yeah.
wonder if
Mhm.
it's easier for them. So, like, you know, they've probably get everything approved by a Pokemon company. So it might be easier to say, like, you know, they've got this event approved with Pokemon. It might be easier to approve like a social post than to change the content of an event. So they might have had this event approved with like, oh, the Elite TM is going to be, you know, Brutal Swing's Elite TM only. And then they've forgotten to write it into the actual blog post. And then so it's like, oh, heck, well, we agreed with Pokemon Big Pikachu that it was going to be Elite TM only. And so I guess we've got to adjust to that. But like, you know, they've still got to get the approval to social post out, be like, hey, we did an oopsie. So I don't know. Like, obviously we're never really going to get that big insight into how the machine works. But it's just because it is odd. It does feel like if I was running a game and I announced that as an oopsie, I would just be like, I guess we just have to run it. Like, this is what we've announced, so let's just do it. It's not big consequential to the game. So like, there has to be a reason for them to make this decision. I don't know what it is because it is weird.
I don't know what it is, but that reason better be really good. I don't know.
And it does make me worried, like with the Audino coming up, and this move like literally doesn't exist.
Now
on
people
this
are going to
Pokemon.
keep memeing on them too, right? And until it happens, right? Thinking that maybe that's.
I am very like deeply suspicious that they're going to do the same thing like a few days before.
I would actually put my money on we're not getting Moonblast Audino. That's actually my prediction.
We're going to get Disarming Voice one, and you have to lithium after the event.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Look, me personally, I could care less about Brutal Swing Absol. Was I ever going to lithium it? No. Was I even going to use it? Probably never, right? Even if it wasn't lithiuming. I think the thing that annoys me about this is, I wouldn't say annoys, but concerns me, is that obviously someone within their team, within leadership, maybe, who knows, right? Whatever the process goes, said, hey, no, that was a typo. We need to rectify it. We need to post about it. And we need to make sure that trainers have to only spend elite TMs to get it. Because that's concerning to whoever made that call, right? Because someone made that call. It wasn't like, oh, this X post didn't write itself, right? They didn't like adjust it. Like, someone made the actual decision behind it. The thing that concerns me is that they're making a decision about other events down the road too, and I just think that's a very unfortunate mindset if that's their approach, right, for future events like this as well. Because again, I don't care about the Absol in particular. It's just the business practice itself is what concerns me, because you need to try to build trust with the player base. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, it's pretty obvious. People are complaining about all this stuff, right? People aren't tweeting about how Pokemon Go is the best game ever, right? And they're loving all aspects of it. Some people are, but like the majority of people have something to complain about the game. And I know it's not easy to satisfy everyone. People are going to find a way to complain about everything. But these are things that people don't need to complain about because you just didn't need to do it, And if you want to keep players, enthusiastic about the game, you can't be doing these kind of things, in my opinion, Again, people are going to find ways to complain about it, and that'll happen with even the most popular games. But the difference between the most popular games that are well received versus maybe Pokemon Go is that they're complaining a lot more about Pokemon Go than they are about some of these other games, So it's, hopefully they don't do this kind of stuff in the future, but we'll see when Mega Audino comes around. Yeah,
it's true. That's the real test, I think, right now, that they've set for themselves now.
Yep. We have a Go Tour Pass. What was this again? Premium items instead of avatar.
So when they announced, there's that paid pass that had the Victini in it. It cost like, I don't know how much it was USD. I don't know, 15, 20 USD maybe.
Like
for all these items, the lucky trinket, all the rest. Mm-hmm. And in the text of that thing, it also mentioned like, oh, you'll get a exclusive pose as well. Okay. I don't know if you remember, but there was no exclusive pose.
Well, I didn't even get that ticket, so I also don't ever use a pose. I didn't realize that. Okay, so there's no pose.
I wouldn't use that. So there's no pose. And so then a couple, some time passes, and Niantic's like, okay, we realized that we advertised to you that we were going to give you this pose. We're not going to do that. Instead, as an apology, here's some premium items. So here's some like Lucky Egg, Starfeast, Incubator, and whatnot.
Why can't they make? I don't understand why can't they make a pose? Do we know what the pose is even going to be?
No.
There was no image of it or preview.
Why can't they
just
set someone like one of the developers or whatever engineers just make a pose? Like it doesn't have to be like it's not like we messed up. We need to give out the premium items by today, or else we can't. Like just give it later then, right? If you need time to work on the pose, I don't get it. No one even knows what the post is supposed to look like, so you can make it like even not real bad.
I think that's the problem is they never planned to make one. It was very clearly a typo that they had copied and pasted from some other
I don't understand.
And so they were like, we're not going to devote resources to making a whole new post to fix this. So we'll just give some stuff, here's some things. Which like to me is like I'm not a person who uses poses a lot either. Like I've never paid for one, and I don't even think I change mine really, even if I do get access to one, that's given to me. But like I don't. So for me, I'm just like, okay, well, I would never buy research just based on a pose. So if they want to just give me some stuff instead, okay.
Hey, check it. Sorry, just eating some crumbs off some plate. Yeah.
But I get why it would frustrate people because again, it's like who is writing, like you're saying, Caleb, who is writing all these things and just like copying and pasting and not double checking before? That's your
main thing. Like I hate to sound like I'm being really harsh, but I used to work in communications, and like it sucks if you accidentally have a typo or whatever, and you have to fix it, but you have to fix it and you have to address it, and you can't just be like, this is like not a small typo. This is people spent a decent amount of money for this stuff. Obviously, I don't think a lot of people spend it for the pose, but you can't say like it's still something that was part of the package, and you can't just. I don't know why you just not do it. I don't understand. Not doing it is crazy to me. This is way worse than the Absol thing in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like what?
Because it was so expensive as well. Like it's one of the most expensive things.
Like the Absol thing is like, okay, people spent like a few dollars on the pass and stuff, but I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't change the event that much for them. Like that actual event is just after the fact. But this actually is like very different. I don't get it. Like how that's just like, can they get refunds on it?
I don't know.
I think they should look. Honestly, I don't know if it sounds extreme or not, but I, in my opinion, I think if you can't deliver on the product you promise people, they should have a way to get a refund on it.
Yeah. Look, the fact it feels very low stakes in the sense of like, again, I'm with Kaz. I actually would prefer regular premium items over a pose, but the false advertising of it is pretty egregious, especially when it is so expensive. And I know, like, I'm not going to name names, but I know that there's people out there that they will, whenever there's a new ticket or something, they'll do a breakdown of like, okay, they've got 2 incubators, so this is worth this amount of dollars. They've got a pose that's usually worth about $5, and they'll just break it down and be like, okay, this ticket is monetarily worth it, like, on a value basis. There's more value in the ticket than the cost, so I'm going to buy it. And the pose is generally, I feel like it's like a $5 item is how they generally sort of put out there. Mm-hmm. And for that item just be like, I don't think we're going to do that, is just a little, it's pretty bad. Again, it's hard to say that it's not a big deal because it kind of isn't. Because again, we never saw the pose, so no one is buying it because like, oh, that pose is awesome, I'm going to get that pose. But it does feel like if you're selling this really expensive item, you probably made an absolute bucket load of cash off of this ticket. You should deliver on what you said you were going to deliver on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not telling people to go like this extreme on it or whatever, but like, I feel like it could be like a class action lawsuit, honestly, if you don't deliver on a product you say and you don't offer refunds. I don't know. Again, I wouldn't go down that route, but like I think it is pretty serious to like not like fulfill on a actual product you said people would, and they can't get a return. Like I don't know if there's a way to file for a return. Like I think that's like the least you can do, right? Is just have that option, but that's just me. I don't know. Again, I don't want to take it that extreme with like a whole lawsuit or anything like that. I don't know if like that's like even feasible, but it's just like, in my opinion, I feel like that's pretty bad to just not give away the products. Again, I don't know what's going on internally, so. But
I do think I feel like the communication errors are like have been sort of increasing as of late. So
yeah, who knows, right? I mean, they could be hiring new staff on communication ends. I don't know. It's just it is what it is. Things like that happen for like any game. So again, I'm not like too judgmental about that, but I think it's more so how they remedy the miscommunication is the bigger issue, in my opinion. And then the last thing on the T topic list is we have not had Keldeo in over 830 days and counting. So we've only had one Keldeo, which is 830 days is actually a long time. I didn't realize it was that long. Because I remember,
and not just that we've only had one. It was only available in a paid ticket. Yeah. So it's literally a mythical Pokemon that you had to pay to get at that time and has not been re-released in any meaningful way. This one, out of all our T topics today, I feel like this one grinds my gears the most.
Really? It grinds your gears?
The thing is, I had someone gift me a ticket to it, right? Like Same. A friend of mine, and I was just like, oh, cool. I thought like, oh, it'll be like widely available, like, soon when I got my crappy one, inevitably, like it'll be available like to the public after one of the Go Fests or something like that. And we never heard about this Pokemon again.
Never.
It's just absolutely absurd.
It's pretty crazy. I was thinking about it when I saw the tweet come up that was like, oh, it's been 830 days. I was like, man, I'm so grateful that someone did buy me the ticket for this event, because like otherwise last year at Worlds when I made that YouTube video that was like finishing my Pokedex, I would not have been able to finish my Pokedex. So like when it came through, I was like, wait, I did get one, right? And then I searched through and I was like, okay, we're good.
Do you remember who it was? Because they deserve a shout out.
I think it was Evo Stevo. So Evo Stevo, you're a legend.
Yeah, and if it's not Evo Stevo, someone call him out.
I'm a terrible person.
I got mine from E110, I believe. So, but yeah, I don't remember it was from that long ago. That's crazy. I will say though, yeah, again, I think the accessibility for this game has always been not the best. In fact, it's been pretty bad in my opinion. But like accessibility for stuff like this, it's just you get one, you can't change the IVs on it, you can't trade them. You can't really get another way to get easy XLs for us. You have to spend rare candy XLs on potentially bad IV spread. And also they're super limited time. It's like almost like someone just forgot that this was a thing. I feel like someone within Niantic, I'm not sure if they have this or not, should have a tracker on when was the last time this Pokemon was available to people and how. Right? So that they know like, oh my gosh, this thing's approaching 1,000 days. You should probably bring this back.
Yeah. Especially because, and I think a lot more people were frustrated by this recently and made aware of this recently, because a lot of people, when they announced Unova Tour, kind of expected Keldeo might play a part in some way.
Yeah.
Because it is a Unova Pokemon.
Yeah.
And yet...
Wait, I thought in past tours too, it's like every Pokemon that was from that region after the tour or during the tour can be shiny from moving forward.
Well, they actually sort of broke that off last in the Sinnoh one, because they haven't released a few Sinnoh Pokemon still. So
yeah, the Sinnoh tour, I believe people were upset because we still don't know when or how we'll ever get like Fion or Manaphy, I think, are the two mythicals that are missing from that generation.
Yeah.
But that didn't bother me as much because like that's still just straight up not in the game.
Yeah.
So when they chose not to include it, I was like, okay, I'll just wait for next time, This is one that they've released before. There's no reason for them not to find some way to include it in like a signature region event that it's a part of, I just,
even if it was in a paid ticket, I'd be like, hey, fair enough.
Like, yeah. Even if they really released it as a paid ticket, at least people now would be like, okay, take my money, because who knows when this will happen ever again.
Yeah. But tell you what, you've given me content idea. I think I'm going to make that graphic with last time Pokemon were available. Although,
yeah,
I think Debbie Pebble actually mentioned something similar in the past.
Yeah, make like a fillable timer. Just like we'll have it. We can put it in the corner. Yeah, we can put it in the corner of podcasts where we're talking about it.
Pinned.
Well, I will say though, Keldeo is not the best in Master League. I know it's like
Who
moved up
cares?
in rankings a bit, but I don't think it's actually that good still. Let's see, where's it rank? I think it is pretty high. 11.
I do know there were quite a few YouTubers who did release videos when Aquajet got buffed.
Yeah, but I don't think it's. I don't know. I still don't think it's good. It's ranked 11th overall. It's got poison jab, so it's not really running any fighting attack. It's got poison jab and low kick. Low kick's pretty bad. And dude, this thing's not good. I made a tier list on this in Master League, and I put it in like B tier, right, like a fringe meta, which is not terrible. It's like third in the rankings, but like third tier in the rankings. And I had some people be like, dude, no, this thing's good or whatever. Like one person, like Actual Nomad, was like, dude, your tier list is what did they say? They said like, I said, this is so wrong. I don't even know where to start. I was like, okay, well, let me drop you my tier list link so you can make your own. And then this person puts it at number 4 overall in S tier. I was like, I'm running a team triple week to fighting and I beat this no problem. Like the poison jab fast attack is just so underwhelming. And it's just Sacred Sword too. It's not the hardest hitting fighting attack, and it's pretty frail as well. But I don't know. Anyway, I think if you're a Master League enjoyer, like you're not really missing out too much on Keldeo until they buff it or whatever or change it. But I actually don't think it's that good, at least. But that is pretty wild though. That 830 days is a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my side tangent on Keldeo. All right, let's talk about YouTube comments and maybe some Gen comments too, if there are any, because I know we're running a little bit lower on time. Let me see if there's any Gen comments. So yeah, there are some. It said from the
all right.
Translate already.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but there's a previous one saying bet on water, most common typing regarding the community bets.
Wouldn't have worked this time.
It would not have.
Nice.
But she might be onto something.
For our next one. I feel like if she is, you wouldn't have said that though.
She's trying to mislead us.
Yeah. I see what you're trying to do, Kaz. Yeah. We'll see. Let's see if she puts a water type or not. Check it. What are you doing?
Checky's going absolutely. Checky's going absolutely ham.
It's full, I think. Anyway, Jen also says, "I got 5 shiny Archon without the paid ticket."
Yeah, that's true. She messaged our group chat and was like, "What is happening right now?" And I was like, and my immediate response was like, "Oh, there's an increased shiny rate with the ticket." And she was like, ... Did not buy that ticket.
I don't think I got a single one actually, and I caught a decent amount too.
I got exactly one, and I did buy the ticket. So like,
I have one shiny.
Who's
but
the real winner?
It was like I call in the wild. It wasn't even like it was from a previous event.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty underwhelming. She also says makes suck it motion. Part of that comment. Also shout out to the cat yowling in the background.
Oh yeah, that's when Tristan's cat was like going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and then Jeno says secret bird, secret feathers.
Skeletor chest feathers confirmed.
True.
Oh, true.
And then she also says strong in the sea, strong in the air.
Oh,
what's that?
Okay,
What's
this one does need a translation. So a
lot of these need translations. But
we play Wingspan a lot, like the bird board game.
Yeah.
We play online like all the time, and I recalled the story of the first time I ever played this game. The friend that I was playing with, it was all of our first time playing it, and her literal whole strategy was she was like, "I'm gonna have only water birds because it's strong in the sea, strong in the air." She just kept yelling that the whole time. And so now it's like my favorite catchphrase to go to whenever we're playing Wingspan, like strong in the sea, strong in the air.
Good thing you're here for this episode because we would have been very lost. We would have been quite lost.
We play Wingspan so much that we actually made a spreadsheet, like tracking our stats for playing the game.
Yeah.
Jen wins the most. And also, but she does not have the highest point average. I think that's her sister, like, has the highest point average whenever she wins. I win the second most.
All right. Well, sounds like outside of Kaz's corner, you got some catching up to do.
Yeah. Kaz wanted to make it known, though. Okay, so we'll go to some YouTube comments. Artemis Dragon says, in terms of adding new elements to GBO, what would you rather see Niantic / Scopely introduce, unlocking a second move or a third charge move? I personally, a second fast move or third charge move. I personally would prefer a second fast move. Thoughts? So I think the second fast move is it's very interesting. The problem is the game's not stable enough for them to do that because we're already losing turns using the same fast move, right? The same fast attack the entire time. Imagine introducing the other one, be like you're cycling between like Incinerate and Lock On or something like that. Obviously, that's kind of a stretch. Not a lot of things can do that except for like a Smeargle, but just as an example, right? Like a fast attack. I think in an ideal world that could be interesting. I still would prefer the third charge move, but I think the problem with the fast attack, the second fast attack, I think I mentioned in a previous episode too. I don't know why, what spurred it in the previous episode, but imagine you're facing, let's say, like a Waterfall Primarina, right? And then that's actually not too bad for a lot of dragons. You know, yeah, they're dragon typing, but you could like kind of hang in there, throw some damage back. You're still resisting the water damage. Like a Guzzlord into a Waterfall Primarina, not the worst in my opinion. But what if all of a sudden the moment the Guzzler comes in, they swap it to Charm? Then you're like it just like you can't really. Whereas if they have a charge attack with coverage, you know they could get to it, but it's not like you have some time to think about it. And like if you counter swap, you can still do some stuff, right? And it's also still a little bit hidden. Whereas I think having two different fast attacks kind of makes it really tricky in that respect.
I'm imagining if they were to add a second charged or fast attack, I'm imagining it to be like how stat effects currently work. You know, like, oh, you buff your attack, but if you swap out, then it negates, right? But the whole time you're in before you swap out, like, your attack is lowered. So if they added a second fast attack, I'm imagining that like you would be locked into that until you had like you swapped out or in or whatever. It's not like it would be mid battle because that would be insane, right? That would cause absolute chaos.
Just imagine like Dialga, right? Like in Master League, you just like switch all the stuff into Metal Claw. Like when a fairy comes in, like there's no stopping that thing after that.
Yeah.
You know?
So I do think it wouldn't be able to be like anytime, right? There would have to be some kind of limitations on it. Whereas adding a third charged attack, that's like a really easy way to make the game more dynamic, and it doesn't, I don't think, would mess too much with what we do currently. Now, I'll say, if my choice would be, actually, I'd like to see how they would tackle abilities added to Pokemon in the game.
That would be cool too. Another thing too I just thought of as well when you were talking about this is there's already a lot of Pokemon that have a lot of charge attacks that you want to use 3 for, but you just don't have the chance to because there's just a limit. Whereas there's a lot less fast attacks in general, and a lot of Pokemon have like very underwhelming fast attack. What would you run on Azumarill outside of Bubble? Rock Smash? Like, you know, it's like this would be, unfortunately, I think for a lot of Pokemon, not that Azumarill needs any more buffs, but a lot of Pokemon pretty useless, right? Same thing with Registeel. What would you run on Registeel besides Lock On? Metal Claw? Like you wouldn't, right? Whereas Rock Smash, like you wouldn't do that. Whereas there's a lot of really good charge attacks that give additional coverage for the Pokemon, like guaranteed to give for additional coverage, right? I think most Pokemon having the third charge attack would give them more coverage, whereas having a second fast attack wouldn't necessarily do that. So I think for like having more neutral play in matchups, having a third charge attack, in my opinion, I think is much better if that's their goal, right?
Yeah.
Again, for chaos purposes, second fast attack, that'd be fun, but it would be very chaotic.
If chaos is your aim, then it's definitely the way to go. But it's also just like a straight buff to any Pokemon that runs like Incinerate or something, because you can, be running Incinerate all you want and then swap out, and then you'll, I don't know what moves Pokemon have, but maybe even if they got like a 2-turn move, right, instead of a 5-turn move, they can swap in, sneak in a 2-turn and throw a move and have a happy day. So it also feels a little less. It's more when it comes to like calculation of like how many turns do I need, to get to my move and whatnot, I feel like it just sort of throws the bath out a little bit.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, keeping track of energy would be nutty. That would actually be not to say that'd be the worst, because then everyone's kind of guesstimating a bit, and you have to kind of use a little bit of feeling unless you're really good at on the quick spot math. But you also have to go visually. Like, did I see an extra lock on, or was that just hard to start of Incinerate or something? But I mean, I wouldn't hate that, but yeah, that does add a huge aspect to it that does remove a little bit of the mechanical or the reliable mechanical side of things.
Yeah.
Infinite Smash says, I remember in response to Artemis Dragon, I remember when adding a second charge move was a wild concept, and then it happened, and now it just seems so normal. However, a second fast move doesn't seem competitive. However, a third charge move falls in line with VG having, I think, 4. Yeah, that's correct. I would also say a hard no for a third shield for a sorry, I didn't read the rest of Artemis Dragon's thing. There's more. So the rest of Artemis Dragon says after the second fast second third charge move, this didn't get me canceled. But what do you think about third shield? There would be limits, of course, but I'll let you all decide on what the limits could be. And then, so I think Professor Tristan was cooking or something. He says, "Yo, the professor was cooking."
It's the outro.
The outro. Yeah, if you watch the YouTube outro, you'll know. And if you've been listening to podcasts long enough, you'll know where that comes from. But Tristan got some moves. Yeah, so Infinite Smash respond to the third shield part. I would also say a hard no for third shield for a timing, dodge, dragging out game standpoint. It just doesn't seem to add skill or need to the game. I agree with, I think, everything Smash is saying right here. For the other stuff we talked about, right? But for the third shield stuff, I think it's fine. I think again, I mentioned this before too. If they add a fourth Pokemon, it's like 4v4 battle rather than 3v3. Third shield is fine. Increases game length, obviously, time or two. But I think a third shield in this current state of games for 3v3 is a little too much, because then imagine like a 3 shield farm down, right? Sometimes a 2 shield farm down is already annoying enough with like a Charmer, but 3 shield farm down is like, there's like some games you just can't possibly win if they have a certain Pokemon in the back, right? With 3 shields. So I think in this current balance, no. But if they ever increase it to a fourth Pokemon, I think a third shield makes a lot more sense. Obviously, with a long timer too. But again, I also agree with Infinite Smash to just drag out the timer a lot too. And I don't, in my opinion, I don't think that's the issue with PvP, feeling a little bit more stale or needing a little switch up. But I could be mistaken. I'm curious if other people have thoughts on a third shield in the current state of things. But yeah. And then Arante Anciao says, if Scopely wants to have an instant sustainable growth increase of the game's player base, it just needs to give an additional opportunity to permanently ban users. It would be a very controversial move, but it would guarantee a player base boost. That is an interesting take. If Smash does respond to it, so I'll see what this is before I respond my own take. Seems like a biased opinion and a left field suggestion for things Scopely could do out of the gates. That's well worded. Also, the core values of a said game aren't changing as the dev team is staying the same. So whatever you are banned for will keep you banned. Yeah, I think the realistic aspect to this concept is probably like there's no way that they'll do it. Me personally, I don't think that's a great play either, because people that got banned for a reason, right? They're probably spoofing. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone getting banned from multi-accounting, but it's mostly spoofing or like doing other types of exploits. Spoofing is probably the biggest one, I think. I don't really know if people have, to my knowledge, I don't know if anyone's been permanently banned for anything besides spoofing. Maybe.
I don't know.
But
sure.
I don't think so, just because I feel like spoofers also don't spend money on the game. They just spoof around. Like, they don't really need to spend money on anything besides maybe raids. But I don't know how much that increases. I think it's just like you could, of course, you could grow the game and have a higher player base, but I don't know if you really want those people in the player base, in my opinion, because you have that for any game, right? Not just Pokemon Go, but for other games too. They do exploits and bugs and all this stuff to get an advantage around the games, and I think them being permanently banned is for the best, even if it means one less player or a couple less players, right? Depending on how many are doing it. So, yeah, interesting, but that is, in my opinion, I think the best way to increase the player base is make the game better. That's it. Make people want to play the game and make the game better. It's that simple, right? It's simple, but it seems like it's not, right? Because again, I know it's not like maybe the easiest to make a good game that everyone wants to play, but one good way to do it is just give what the players want. Don't do anything too crazy. Be giving like 500 coins per day for free for no reason. Like, I'm not saying that, right? Obviously, some people are going to take it to extreme and want to do all that, but just, do the features that like capitalize on the features that people like. And if you took it away, bring it back. And then, there's certain things that people have been asking for that maybe you could do. Like a long distance lucky trade or something like that. I don't know. Maybe make it non-special, but and then obviously add things that we can't even think of, that are cool sometimes. I think like joining raids from your friend group, like fantastic addition.
Amazing.
Yeah. But you know what sucks? There's a limit on remote raids. So you can't really even join that many if you want to. Imagine if there wasn't a limit on remote raids. People be doing there'll be raids on your friends list all the time. That'd be great.
Yep.
That'd be great. And you get revenue and you make players happy. Anyway, I've said it before, but that's my take on that. And then AJPC just left us 3 hearts, which I appreciate. I'll talk about last week's episode's comments next week because we're running low on time and there weren't too many because I know it's been just under a week since we posted that. But yeah, we'll keep you all posted. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for us. Best of luck on your Brisbane commentary. Josh, it's gonna be on your channel.
Yeah, PvP Steve 7 on Twitch.
So. On Twitch, is it gonna be on YouTube too, or just Twitch?
I'll upload the VOD to Twitch after, but it's not gonna be live on YouTube.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, well, we'll tune in and wait, how many? Do you know how many people are going to Brisbane?
It's in the 50s.
Okay, and how many are in Atlanta? By the way, Kaz registered. If you could check.
Currently. Oh my god, is it open on my phone still?
Is 50's cap for Brisbane or there's
64 is probably cap.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah. It is the biggest Brisbane regional ever, but it's not by much.
Atlanta currently sitting at 161.
Okay.
161. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
huge. Pretty comfortably 129 cap, so take the win.
161 is 161 is very, very solid. So we'll have a true top 16. But is that the biggest regional we've had in NA this year? Maybe not all time, but this year.
No, I think there was.
I thought the first one was pretty massive, actually.
Yeah, I thought we had something
Baltimore?
that got up to. I thought we had something that got up to like 170, 175, or 180 something.
Baltimore was 182.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we still have a little bit of time, and there's some last minute registers, but like last week, you want to register for these as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to do it for us. So we'll catch you all later, and hopefully, Mega Audino will still have Moonblast. Hopefully, it's not Elite TM Bolt again. If Niantic pulls this off and makes you have the Elite TM for Moonblast or some other move on top of it. Yo, pure comedy. Pure comedy, that's all I'm gonna say. Also, Marcus Aurelius Borger. What was his last name? I don't want to like miss
Borger.
Borger.
Yeah.
Arceus Borger. Marcus Aurelius. I can fill up a bucket of water and pour on you. Don't worry. You could really be a man of your word if you mean it. I'll let you decide, though. Anyway, until next time, we'll catch y'all later. Peace.